You've had a couple weeks to, kind of figure some things out with it, and I imagine there's some stuff that's gone well and some that hasn't. Just how have you seen guys compensate without Cam? I imagine physically not having his presence at the linebacker spot and also sort of the intangibles of a leader. Just how have you seen guys compensate without him?
Yeah, that's a great question, Zach. Cam is just phenomenal. So how about this, right? Cam Jones, right? You guys know how I feel about Cam Jones. My son sprained his foot the other day. Okay, he was at the doctor this morning to go see. Guess who sent my son a picture and a little video to help put his mind at ease at the doctor? Because Cam's dealing with foot. Hey, my 5-year-old son's at the doctor, and there's Cam Jones texting my wife, sending a little video and a picture, like, what a guy, right? It's just phenomenal who that young man is. So, to your point, Zach, right? Like, you can't just go, hey, plug and play. That's not it's not possible. But a lot of guys have had to step up, and we've seen it, right? Matt Holt, increased role, right? Aaron Casey, right? You got to now increase your role, and Aaron was producing. Now your communication, your command, the leadership, so it's not going to be one guy that you're saying, man, that guy's got to go do all of it. It's just everybody pick up their load, pick up their share, and go get the job done. And we're seeing guys step up and do that. And we need more guys to go ahead and do that, all right, and see them again pick up their load, carry a little bit more of it, and that's really a lot of the challenge this morning as we met with our guys in the linebacker room. We got to all pick up our load because we didn't play well enough, in my opinion, the way we needed to be able to win a football game at the linebacker position. So.
Chad, how you doing?
Hey, Dustin. Good to see you.
You too, man. Just a little bit playing off of that, what you said about the linebackers at the end. I think one thing is just Aaron and Bryant both kind of said is that, when they look back at film, it's always just, okay, one mistake here or one thing wrong there. I guess, are you seeing an uncommon amount of it, or is it just a case of there's 11 on 11, there's always going to be moving parts?
Yeah,
and stuff
correct. Right. They've got these whiteboards, they've got video projectors, they've got game planning. They pay those guys money to go put together plans and do something different and unique, and sometimes that is the case. And shoot, like the quarterback told you, he's a really good player. Yeah, it wasn't just our guys that you watch film of him. He made a lot of guys miss. Over the past couple weeks. We worked to show those guys how he was going to make them miss, and you can't always replicate and simulate that in practice either until you get in those game situations. And so we've got to do a better job of understanding, who those guys are and what they are, and continue to try to teach, communicate, educate those guys on, okay, this is how he's going to escape, this is where he wants to go, and then again, it's always on us. It always comes back to us. As coaches, that, okay, what else could I have done? What else should I have done? How could I have created a drill for that? How, could we have worked to simulate that better in practice? So yeah, there were some plays left on the field, but I'm always going to come back, and I appreciate them taking ownership. I'm going to take the ownership too, right? What else could I have done throughout the week to prepare them?
Kind of sticking on that theme, but more so with the defensive backs. It seems like the last couple weeks, the wide receivers that you guys have been facing have had an easier time than in years past of kind of getting open and just being able to make an impact. What necessarily are you seeing going wrong with that position group that's allowing these receivers to get so open?
Sure. Yeah, first thing is communication. We've got to make sure all 11 guys are always playing on the same page, whether it's how we're playing combination routes, how we're playing formational things, right? Communication. Right, and then it goes into execution. Execution is execution of the assignments, execution of the communication, how we play in this particular alignment, and then it's the execution of fundamentals and technique. So we got to keep working on really all three of those areas, right? Communication, and then the execution again of assignment, execution of fundamentals. So that's what we're going to keep challenging these guys on. We got to continue to step up, grow up, and go do what we know what we're capable of doing. There's guys back there with experience and know what they're doing. Watch the picture, this morning of as we met. I mean, literally standing right there, and one particular doesn't matter, right? His technique on a man-to-man assignment. One time he does it, right? Next time he doesn't. So it's the consistency that when you did it, right? Boom, play done, route over, eliminated. You didn't do it, catch. So. it's there. The kids know it. They see it. We got to continue to, again, reinforce it. It's on us, always on us as coaches, right, to get them to consistently do that and execute it.
Coach, Chris Keys played the last 2 weeks with Jalen out.
Sure.
I guess, how would you just describe him? What have you kind of seen from him? I guess going back to the time when you first met him.
Yeah, continue. He is. Chris is one of those young men that has continued to grow up and mature. He's still a young player. Pointed out some of this morning that okay, here's how you can grow. Here's how you can develop. Next step in your game, right? What you can anticipate pre-snap. How is this going to motion? If this motions, what's that communication turn into? Right? Thinking about those things ahead of time. And that's part of the process with youth. Right, unfortunately they don't walk in knowing that. We got to continue to educate, continue to teach, continue to help those guys learn, grow, and develop. But Chris has embraced that, as his role and has grown and expanded here, over the next, past couple of weeks. He's really embraced that, and you see him growing, developing. You see his confidence growing. Right, shocking. Your confidence grows, you play a little bit better. And we still got, again, all these guys, small things, fundamental things that, when we do it right, we're really good. When we're not doing it right, we're not as good. So we got to keep challenging with the consistency. When you see it, right, we got to praise it. When you don't see it, we got to correct it. And that's what we're working to do.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Rutgers made a change to OC. They didn't play this week. Midstream, you can't overhaul what you're doing, but I'm sure there's going to be some differences. Is this kind of almost like a first game where it's a new staff and you're not sure what they're going to do? And I guess kind of how do you attack the preparation when you're a little bit unknown with, a new play caller?
Yeah, great question. When you think about it, you're right. They're mid-season. They're not sitting here, all spring, all preseason camp. Like, is it going to be a wholesale change? You don't anticipate that. But you also know there's going to be adjustments. There's going to be tweaks. They're going to evaluate personnel. But they would do it anyway on a bye week. All right, let's go look at our tips and tendencies. Right, how are people breaking us down? How are they seeing us? And right, what do we need to adjust to make sure we're not doing the same things over and over and putting ourselves in a bad spot by, those habits and tendencies. So, yeah, you're expecting that a little bit off the bye week anyways. And we got some other things we're looking back at and saying, okay, who are they? What are they? What have they done well up to this point in the season? And what are they going to really work to emphasize? And so, yeah, there's going to be some adjustments. And the biggest thing for us, this is every week, right? We got to control us. Right, go back, control our fundamentals, go control our execution, go control our execution of whether it's assignments or execution of fundamentals, and so that'll be still a big point of emphasis for this week is let's make sure we're getting better at things we need to get better at. Then sure, you place it into game plan, certain calls, right, whatever you think that you're anticipating from them, but still focus this week needs to be us and getting ready to be our best.
I guess Coach Allen said that he doesn't really know who to expect at quarterback for Rutgers. I guess how does that change the way that you prepare for that team? Just knowing that it could be one of three guys.
Yeah, sure. You wish it made it a little easier. It certainly doesn't make it easier. Again, you've got to go back, look historically, what have they done throughout the season, have a plan in place. You can't practice everything, but we can have a plan. Right, there's certain things you can ask our guys to do, but we can sit here and look at what are our contingencies that we need to have, and we know our system. We know what we like against certain things that you're seeing. We know, and again, historically for us, what have our guys executed well? What have they done well? What do they have a comfort level and base with that you say, okay, if we need to go do this on either limited or no practice, what can they go out and feel comfortable with. So we will have our own contingencies also. Again, can you practice everything against all the quarterbacks they've done? And you can't practice it all. We'll work to have a base of knowledge of all as much as we can, and then make sure that our guys, again, can go execute the fundamentals and details of their jobs to the best of their abilities. Yeah.
Kind of following up from that and maybe more, I guess, philosophical, but like, how and where do you build in, I guess, triggers in a game plan, especially in a situation like this where there are a lot of unknowns because of Rutgers' situation, to sort of say, we're going to prepare for, 2, 3, 4 different things, and basically this is the trigger we're looking for to say, in game, we're going to do this because we saw that.
Yeah, I really believe it goes back to the individual assignments and techniques of the jobs, okay? If I'm a defensive end and my tackle does this, I do that. Right? If my tackle does that, then I do this. Right? If I get this adjustment, this formation on the back end, we know this is our check. We know this is our call, right? Like how that plays out, right? We got to make sure our guys know what their base rules are. And we can be great in our base rules, but then you can handle whatever else they throw at you, from the kitchen sink. So I think that's really just, go back and say, okay, again, I'm a linebacker. This is my key. My key does this. That's my reaction. Whatever the game plan is, however, we'll figure that out as the game goes on. That's our job as coaches. Okay, what are the things they're showing us? What are the repeats? What are the tendencies within the game? And we've got a system how we do that, and I really like our system within the game of how we go about identifying the tendencies, whether it's down and distance tendencies, whether it's formation tendencies, whether it's personnel tendencies. We've got a good system for that. And then turn that around and echo that and communicate that back to the guys on the sideline, on the bench. All right, here's your rules, here's your keys, right? Trust your rules, trust your keys. Yeah, that's really what you really work to build off of when you get it, when you're getting those unknowns. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Have a great day.